Welcome back to the PaperCut Story Sofa, where we're talking to August about his PaperCut story so far. It's a little play on words.
Yeah.
Quite proud of it. August, good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Al. Yeah.
We're here in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
How long have you been here in Portland, Oregon?
Oh, yeah, I've been in Portland, Oregon around 7 months right now.
Oh, wow.
No, 9 months, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's been 9 months. Oh, I can't track time, yeah.
Right. And tell me how you came to live in Portland.
Oh, yeah, I was living in Atlanta, Georgia before Portland, and I was working
I thought I picked up an Atlanta accent. No,
Really?
I'm kidding.
No, I'm all right. Yeah,
We'll get to the bottom of your accent
Yes,
soon
totally,
enough.
totally. Yeah, I was living in Atlanta, Georgia before I moved to Portland.
Yeah.
It was a little hot and humid over there, but I love living in Portland right now. It's so nice weather. We are lucky. We have sun out today.
We've got beautiful sun today.
Yeah.
So before Atlanta, I feel like you've got another origin story before that.
Yes. Originally, I'm from Turkey, and yeah, I worked for Konica Minolta before when I was in Turkey. I worked there more than 6 years. And then I moved to an ASC of PaperCut, the authorized partner of PaperCut.
Which one's that?
ITS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're from UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a funny story about that, but I can tell it later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Turkish. I came to US in 2023, and I lived in Atlanta, Georgia for more than 2 years. Then I moved to Portland because I joined PaperCut.
Okay. Why the shift from Turkey, which has fantastic weather, to the US?
I was a partner manager at ITS, and I think I was doing a really good job, and I loved working with those people over there. Our authorized partners are I think they're cool and they're nice. Yeah, I loved every moment there, but I was feeling that I need to go out of my comfort zone a little bit. And before everything goes bad, I need to take an action. I was like, okay, it's going good. And I told my manager that I have a green card. I can live in US. And I said that, okay, we need a change here. We are doing a good job, but when we are in control, let's change it. And I just want to move to US. I decided that. And they said, oh, we don't want to lose you. And they have a team in here. And they transferred me.
In Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, they don't have an office there.
Yeah.
But they said, okay, you can live wherever you want to. And I said, okay, I got friends in Atlanta. It wasn't the most wisest move ever because the lifestyle in Atlanta is so car dependent. And I lived in Istanbul. Istanbul was like New York, you know.
Yeah,
you can walk everywhere, you have public transit. And I moved to Atlanta. I was skinnier, to be honest. And in Atlanta, I just gained, I don't know, maybe 20 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, I still use the kilos and centimeters and meters, you know. Yeah, I worked for ITS, our authorized partner.
Yes.
For six years.
Yeah.
And I was a partner manager for Turkey, Azerbaijan, Cyprus, Northern Cyprus.
Yeah, you don't sound too committed about the Cyprus one. Sort of Cyprus?
Oh, because Cyprus is split. You know, there's a southern part of Cyprus.
Got it. Territory.
The territories they have.
What role are you doing here at PaperCut?
Sorry?
What job are you doing here at PaperCut?
I'm in inside sales team right now.
Yeah.
But I started as a channel ops specialist. Then I just moved to inside sales.
Yeah. And what sort of work do you do as an inside salesperson?
Okay, I will tell you the story of, or my point of view.
Yeah.
We are just helping out people. Right. Because I was working for a reseller. I was at Konica Minolta. And I know that point of view there. Because when you are at a reseller and you're selling an MFP with a software attached to it, it's a broader project for you. But you know the customer's problem. And sometimes the customer is not aware of their problem.
Yeah.
They just don't know it. And you're just pointing out some problem. You're trying to find pain points. And then I moved to authorized partner. And the partner problems are more condensed because the reseller is filtering the problem and they're just coming to you. And now I'm at PaperCut. And when you are in channel ops, you have the most condensed problem from the customer because you know it's filtered down by the reseller, then an authorized partner. But in PaperCut, inside sales team has a really unique point of view because we are the people who are touching directly to the end customer. And the end customer comes to us without any opinion sometimes, or they have a pure problem.
Yes.
We hear about the pure problem.
Yeah.
And
instead of getting it second hand or
yes,
third hand.
Totally.
Yeah.
And in life, we all need people to tell us it's okay. You are supported, right? And they have a problem. They're trying to find a solution. They just visit our website. They call us or send an inquiry, and they're just saying that I'm just trying to find the solution. Help me. And this is why we are here. And we're just helping people. We are like a concierge here.
Right.
And we just let them know that we are here to help. And we have a solution for you. And we're just trying to understand their pain points and trying to connect them with an authorized partner who are the experts on all kind of integrations and solutions.
Why does that bring you joy? Why do you enjoy this role?
Oh yeah, I enjoy the role because it's always new. Because there's always a new customer. There's always a new person. And sometimes it's the old problems you're just facing with, but you feel like you're helping people. You feel like you're finding a solution for them. Sometimes they're not really collaborating with you because they're just saying that, oh, I need this. And when you ask a question, I don't know. And they're not helping. But it's the art of sales. You need to find that pain point by asking questions. I enjoy it.
So August, why PaperCut?
Oh, okay. Why PaperCut? I have some bad stories about PaperCut.
Give me the bad and the good.
Yeah, I felt so sad because, I was at Konica Minolta and we were selling a competitor, and we were doing a good job, I think. And we were so happy. We were the king of our territory. But one day we went to a customer and we were trying to sell that competitor product, and I was so loyal to that competitor product. We are so ambitious about that. But the customer said that, you know what? We are just trying PaperCut right now. We were like, who? They said, PaperCut. We're like, oh, yeah, okay. But we can do this, we can do that. And at the end, the customer was showing us the user interface of PaperCut, and we were almost buying the product. That was really, funny because we were like, okay, and they were like, you see, it's very simple. It's really easy to use. The user interface is really user-friendly. And they said, oh, we can archive the jobs here. And we were like, really? Because we don't have that feature. We can just archive the first page of the print job. And we said, oh, yeah, but we have this. We can do that. Okay. They were using our MFPs already. And we were like, okay, we are working for it for years. And then at the end, they said, okay, yeah, let's move forward. And they said, okay, we're gonna let you know. And we went out, and I had my technician with me. And he was like, you know what, August? Their user interface is so good. And I was like, yeah, they're good.
Darn it.
Yeah, and then we lost that project. We were so furious about that.
Sorry about that.
No,
Not sorry.
not sorry. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I was really sorry. And then there was another story. I was working for Konica Minolta. I was responsible for the MPS solutions, and then our managers told me that we're gonna have a meeting with PaperCut. I was like, no,
Not those guys.
We hate them. I don't want to sell PaperCut. And they said, no, you got to be there. I was like, I don't want to join this meeting. And I joined the meeting. It was a meeting with ITS.
Right.
And we started the meeting. I wasn't talking. I was ignoring them, and I was just trying to throw some questions, really hard questions. How do you manage SLAs? What do you do? What is your responsibility? And then there was a partner manager in ITS, and he started asking me questions. And then I started talking, and we had a good synergy and the energy in the room.
Yeah.
And at the end, after a year, they offered me a job, and I accepted it. And I worked for ITS for 6 years. I think we did a really good job in our territory. Then PaperCut was always there to help us. And one interesting thing is, I was working with a technician in ITS. He installed PaperCut to that customer first time, and I appreciated him. I was like, man, you did a really good job there. And they bought PaperCut. And, we always appreciate our partners in PaperCut, and this is why I love it.
So
that was a really long story.
No, it's a great story. It's a great story, because these are the stories that I haven't gone through that experience. So it's just wonderful to hear that sort of story. So you saw a role come up at PaperCut.
Yes.
While you were living in Atlanta.
Yes.
Were you nervous about, once you got the role, were you worried about moving to Portland, or were you open to it?
Oh, okay, moving is always stressful. But it was PaperCut. I sold this product for 6 years, and I was advocating for the values of PaperCut, And PaperCut was my dream job when I was working in ITS.
Wow.
And this is why I would move to Alaska. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but there are some news about every city. If you Google any city, there are always problems. And the cost of living is high, something is bad. People tell stories, because we love complaining. Humanity
makes
loves,
good TV.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, it was stressful moving out, but PaperCut just make it easier for me. Everybody helped me a lot, and they just shared their experiences. They told me the good places in the city. How can I manage the moving? How can I find a place? That was easy. It wasn't so bad. Yeah.
And is PaperCut still a dream job for you?
Totally, yeah. I enjoy every moment. Look at these people. These are, they're so good, and the values are good. And we're not just building a software here. We have a purpose, and we encourage the customers to have some sustainability goals. We're helping people, and people are so nice. The values are so good and important. I love every moment here. Yeah, totally.
It's been a fantastic chat, Oguz. I really appreciate spending time with you and
Thank
getting
you.
to know a bit more about you. And I can't wait to see what you achieve here.
Yeah, thank you.
It's another great episode of PaperCut Story Sofa, hearing about your PaperCut story so far. I appreciate you. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Al. Nice talking with you.